All right. Hello. Welcome back. Hi. So, 1 second here. All right. So, I thought I would do something that I hardly ever do. Um, and it's using water. Hydromancy is typically, I think, one of the ways this is called. Um, so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing as I do with the tarot, but we'll see what we get with the water. So I want to do this more because I feel like this one goes deeper. Um, sometimes I don't know. It's as strong as like my clairvoyance. So we'll see what happens. You set the intention actually as well. See if we can fit it into 10 minutes or less. Fourth house. Is this for Cancer? Oh, fifth house. Oh, sixth house. Pertaining to health, service, your parents' siblings, your uncles, aunts, servitude, people you work with, your partnership, usually under you, typically also like things that you take care of, the unconscious, and things that become habits. So let's take a look. So I have what's usually just a bowl, and it'll just, or whatever. Sounds like I'm doing something else, but Cancer. See what we get here. I'm seeing like a dog. There's something about dogs. I feel like there's a symbol of typical loyalty, but there's watchfulness, being on guard. I'm seeing also some sort of like flowered. It's kind of like pointing downwards. It's not pointing up. So there's something about looking downwards, away from the sun, so away from shining, away from your true self, away from actually any of that stuff. I don't know. There's something about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to read through whatever I'm reading. Whoever can take it would take it, but usually, typically, this is for cancers, cancer in your sun sign, moon sign, ascendant, any of your personal planets all the way to Mars, or any placements you have in cancer as well. This applies to not just cancer itself, but anybody else. We all have cancer in ourselves. We all have all the signs. We all have the planets in ourselves. There's something about factories here. There's something about artwork. I'm seeing an island factories, sort of like reminds me of Manhattan, New York, or something like that, where there's factories close to the harbor. Something about something triangular, like a sort of like paint. You know, when you do when you fix the wall and there's some sort of, I think it's plaster or something like that, that gray stuff, or light gray, light dark white. Something about a rear view mirror. Something about a rear view mirror. So it could be symbolic. A lot of these sometimes can be symbolic. Something to do with you looking back, or something about looking back. That's typical of Cancer as well. Something about a watch. Something about a watch with this one. Wearing a watch. I don't know if it's something to do with release of time, counting time. Something about a yacht, or not exactly a yacht, like a cruise ship. Somebody's going on a cruise ship. I feel like this one's tapping into something like that. Seeing a bat or something about bats. Could be something about sonar, reflections, living in the night, very typical Cancer, like it's tied to the moon, so it's tied to the night light, tied to the reflection of the sun, tied to the other part of ourselves. Something about it, something that's long-necked, either that or it's your penis. It's like long-necked animal, like sort of a dinosaur. I don't know if it's something to do with dinosaur. Something with a long neck or something that's long, something that's hanging off of something. Could be anything. Something also about the foot, like a duck's foot. I don't know if it's something to do with wading, something to do with like stepping and kind of like being land water. I feel like there's a balance between the land water, so it's something to do with practical emotions. Which is actually good. It's interesting to make me. I didn't listen to it, but they wanted me to. Was being told to compare it to the shadow of Cap of Cancer, which is shown in the Capricorn, which is very Earth-like. So there's a shadow there too. Maybe there's a restriction of feelings or something like not addressing feelings, not give, surrendering to the present moment and not judging those emotions that come through, especially with Cancer, especially when it comes to your health, anything unconscious habits that you get into. Think about a mask. You remember those that scene, those what the Dark Eaters or the Death Eaters from Harry Potter using that mask, or that movie from something Away, that Japanese anime, Spirited Away, that little creature with the mask. That's what I'm seeing. Something about something pointed. I feel like it's like a sort of like, when you have a meringue and you kind of pour it and it's like this foamy thing and you go like this, or a helmet that was worn by, I think it was somewhere in the Middle East back in biblical times, like the description was like this pointy little helmet, something pointed. I don't know what that is. It could be a teardrop, it could be something pointed or pointed, something poignant, meaning the word poignant as well. About telephone communication? Is there something about communication? Maybe something tied to family, people you work with. This is the sixth house, or your health. Maybe something to do with doctor. Something about a leg. Something about a bruising, or something about like a bruising or a gash or something like that. Something like a scrape in probably something below the knee or above the knee. There's also seeing the finger pointing, going like this. There's something about pointing fingers. Could be the symbol of like blaming, shadow work, pointing fingers, that kind of stuff. See if I can get a message. I'm hearing the word talisman, something about magic. So reach for your magic. Like what you put in work to. So something about manifesting through the work that you put into instead of just wishing for it. It's very much a Cancer thing sometimes. It's more of a reactive sign than it is more proactive sign, but I'm not judging you or anything. I'm just saying watch out for that. And I think that's it for now. Thank you for watching. See you guys later.